everyone, my name is Tina. I'm your local realtor here on Cape Cod. I do videos in regards to real estate clearly and then living on Cape Cod in general, just guidance, tips, more information. So if you guys are interested in more of those videos, please subscribe to my channel, like or comment below. In today's video, we're going to touch a very important process in the real estate world, and this is the home buying process. I wanted to guide the home buyers out there, those that are like just starting and don't really know what the process is about. I wanted to make a video that I quickly, simply explain the process step by step and make it easy for everyone out there. I do recommend getting a real estate agent in your corner simply because they know the ins and outs. They can recommend you people that you will need throughout the process, and etc. It's like you just need that person. I do not recommend putting an offer with the listing agent of the property of your interest, just because ultimately their loyalty falls into the seller's hands. And at the end of the day, they cannot really look after your best interest and the seller's best interest at the same time. So you do need your buyer's agent to walk you through this process. And what the process looks like, I'm gonna post it right here in front of me so we can go through it step by step. First step is clearly just getting started. The initial interview between you and your agent. It's very important just so you know that this is your agent, this is the person that you wanna work with. And that's like very, very important process. The bank approval, it's one very, very, very important step that takes place in the very beginning of this process. After you get your pre-approval letter in your hands, you can go shopping. And what the shopping really looks like, we can go in more details a little bit further into this video. The next step is making an offer on the property that you like. And after the offer gets accepted, hopefully, we go through inspections and a few little steps before we sign the purchase and sales agreement. After this is signed, hopefully your loan gets approved or it's in the process of getting approved. The hazard insurance policies come right after, title search, finalizing the paperwork, and then doing the final walkthrough, very, very important step as well. And then just getting that bank check in your hands or a personal check from your bank, depending if you're paying cash or you're going through a lender. And then, ta-da, closing day, getting the keys in your hands, and congratulations, you have your new house. I'm going to skip some of the steps, like the initial interview, like this is really personal between you and the agent that you pick, and you just, just making sure that you're comfortable with that person, because you have to initially like put all your trust in that person. And I'm wanted to jump into the bank pre-approval process because it's one of the most important steps if you are going to seek a mortgage for this purchase. So very important that you know the difference between pre-qualification letter or pre-qualifying for a loan and pre-approval letter or getting pre-approved from the lender. Those are the difference. I mean, people usually use it as the same thing sometimes, but us as a real estate agents, obviously the seller will have a listing agent who is gonna guide them, and just having a pre-qualification letter not gonna get you too far. The pre-qualification is kind of the first step. So you go to the bank, or you don't even go there, you can do it online nowadays. And you give them like basic information of the numbers that you make a year, and that's not like you don't submit any paperwork yet. So the pre-qualification, it's really the very first step, and it's like they will kind of guide you into what kind of loan you might be able to get, what amount. It's going to be like good for your financing situation, but it's nothing like set stone. So the pre-approval, it's kind of the second step, and then you go through like submitting the paperwork. You submit your pay stubs, all the information that the lender will need from you, and then they really give you an information of what kind of loan you're going to get, or choices of loans that you can get, and what amount, which is very important. So you are, simply, it's much better to get the pre-approval letter in your hands, A, for the offer that you're about to submit one day for a house, and B, for you to know not to shop for like a house that it's out of your budget, or looking into properties that you cannot simply afford, because that's just not ideal at all for anybody. After you have your pre-approval letter in your hands, the next step is simply shopping. And shopping, it can be fun, it can be stressful. These days with the market and what's going on in the world, it takes a while for some buyers to find the right house. And then you go through like bidding wars, and that shopping process can really take from 1 month to 1 year or more. And if you have a question in your head, like where do you shop? So your buyer agent will give you listings of houses that are in MLS, houses that are out there for sale, or houses that are coming up on the market, which is a really great thing to have a real estate agent in your corner, because they have the access to coming up soon houses, or houses that are coming up in their real estate group, and they know first, before it really hits the market and hits the MLS, when this right house comes on the market and you are ready to put an offer on it. It's another very, very important step in this process. This is why you're gonna be, really happy that you actually got a buyer's agent to like guide you through this process, because writing the offer is the very initial contract between you and the seller when this is accepted. So you don't want any mistakes, you don't want any information that it's not correct, or can like lead you to losing your deposits, or anything like worse than that even. So for the offer, you will definitely need a small deposit. It can be a percentage of the purchase price. It can be like $1,000 deposit, so be prepared with that. Then on the offer, we usually put very important dates for the purchase and sales agreement, dates for inspections, if any. And I do recommend highly to have at least a home inspection done. The mortgage contingency, it's very important contingency that goes on the offer as well. After the offer is written and signed by the buyer, obviously you have to read every document you sign. I do highly recommend this because even though your agent is very capable, it's very knowledgeable, it's gonna do the right thing for you, because initially this is what his job is, to look after your best interest. You do want to read the information written before signing any paperwork, because this is potentially the biggest purchase of your life. After signing the offer, we're submitting the offer to the listing agent of that property of interest. And there are like kind of 3 options where this might go. Option A, the offer can be accepted, which is a great thing, and we can go through the next steps very quickly. Option B is the offer can be rejected, which clearly means that the seller does not agree with the conditions of the price that you offered. And the options here following are either submitting a new offer or just not submitting another offer. In today's market, you don't really get that chance to submit another offer. Nobody's gonna wait for you. They've already, accepted a different offer. So it's a little different, but that's an option, so I wanted to share with you. And obviously the third option is to get a counter offer from the seller with different conditions, with different contingency, with different price, so you can absolutely respond to this offer with accepting it or countering back. So after your offer gets accepted, it's time to do the home inspection. You usually have about a week to schedule it and to obviously read through the reports that you get from the home inspector and see if you find something that you want to go back to the seller with, or you are like, happy with the condition of the house, you want to just proceed through. After the inspection is done and any negotiations that were needed are done, And we went through the mortgage contingency as well. So this is just like your agent, yourself, the loan officer, really communicating very closely throughout this process and making sure that you're on the right track with the loan approval. So after this is done, we're going through signing the P&S agreement, which is purchase and sales agreement. It's a very detailed document that's written by both attorneys. They're obviously explained to you by attorneys, and they will guide you through the process. Everything from the offer kind of goes on the P&S, but in a much detailed way. All the dates, all the contingencies, if they haven't been already addressed from the offer and then that time prior to signing the P&S. Usually the buyer signs first and then the seller signs if everything looks fine. And then this is kind of, what really binds this contract. And now the most important thing is you getting that loan approved. You need to have that loan commitment before signing the P&S because it's very critical. You either have to be absolutely sure you're getting the loan, or you have to ask for extension. Obviously your agent will guide you, but it's very important because if you go through signing the P&S and then something goes wrong with the loan, your deposits are in jeopardy. You are to lose your deposits at the end. Let's say that everything is done, your loan's being approved, and we're going through like final stages of this purchase and sales agreement, like going down the line. You will need home insurance, flood insurance, title insurance, all of this. So obviously if you are paying cash, it's a little different because those insurances are like kind of up to you. Make sure to ask your agent. Hopefully they, address this prior to even like putting an offer in the house. But it's great to know that your house, it's either in a flood zone or not, and how risky the flood zone is. Just because if it is in a flood zone, you will need a flood insurance, which adds from $1,000 to like $4,000 a year to your bills. For the homeowner's insurance, there's obviously a lot of private companies that will write you the insurance for you. But Massachusetts, there's a great thing. The Massachusetts has property insurance underwriting association, or called the FAIR Plan, which gives an option to individuals who cannot get a private insurance due to condition or location of the property. Also, if you're looking to rent the house after purchasing, please make sure you speak to your insurance agent, just because there's a different policies in regards to renting your home to other individuals. Another insurance that you will need if you are lending some money from a lender, it's the title insurance. And the title insurance is insurance that protects your ownership over this property, protects it from fraud, protects it from mistakes like misspelling of the name, like previous sales. A really great insurance to have. Obviously, if you're paying cash, again, it's up to you. But if you are going through a mortgage process, you will definitely need the title insurance. The title insurance usually a one-time cost that it's based on the property price, and it's paid by the buyer. And there's like a homeowner's title insurance and a lender title insurance, and you will definitely need the lender one if you're getting a mortgage. The process is not very long, but it can get very complicated depending on the circumstances. So having, again, a real estate agent in your corner is the best thing that you can do for this process for yourself. So getting to the last steps of the process is really doing the final walkthrough of the property. And what that means is that you get a chance before you go the next day or the next 2 days and sign the paperwork and get the keys for the property, so it's said and done. Before that takes place, you have the chance to walk through that property that you submitted an offer like 3 weeks ago or a month ago one more time. And then ta-da, it's closing day. Obviously, closing day looks a little different after COVID. They removed a lot of the steps of going to the Registry of Deeds or even going to the attorney's office, sitting there for an hour signing paperwork. You can definitely do the closing online. You can do it, over the phone, sitting in your living room. Just having your computer to sign the paperwork electronically. So it's not what it used to be, but it definitely is the best day because you get to take the keys for your new house. Before I end this video, I wanted to give you a list, and I'll put it right in front of me, of the closing costs for the buyer. Because it's important to know. I know that, if you are getting a loan, you can obviously put the closing costs into the loan, so you don't have to have the money up front. But sometimes that's not possible, so please ask your loan officer if this is an option that you want to explore. Some of the costs are obviously the down payment, loan origination, home inspection, appraisal, credit report, deed recording, land survey, title insurance policy premiums, private mortgage insurance premiums, smoke inspection, and final water meter reading fees. Insurance escrow for homeowners insurance if being paid as part of the mortgage, points or loan discount fees, which is paid to receive a lower interest rates, prorations for your shares of costs such as utility bills and property taxes, property tax escrow if being paid as part of the mortgage. Lenders keep funds for taxes and insurance in escrow accounts as they are paid with the mortgage. Then they pay the insurance or taxes for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm really hoping that this is very helpful. If you have any further questions, please reach out to me. My information is down below as well. And another thing that I wanted to do before saying goodbye is putting down some lenders, some information for a private lender that you can go through, like an officer, loan officer, that will kind of guide you through the whole process. It's very important, even a few months or a year before you even start looking at houses. Meeting with a loan officer can help you because they will guide you through, like, hey, you have to pay off this credit card, or don't buy major, stuff like cars and whatever. It's like very important because you don't want to be like ready to go through this process and meet with a loan officer and they'll be like, hey, yeah, it's all good, but you like need this and this and this fixed first before we get you, the pre-approval letter. So be ready with this in advance. Here on Cape Cod, another thing that's very good to know is that you want to go through like local banks like Cape Cod 5, Cooperative Bank of Cape Cod, the small banks, and I will list some banks underneath this video in descriptions. It's much better, and the offer will be much stronger as well. So it's very important. Again, speak to your real estate agent. They will guide you depending on the location where you are, because Cape Cod is just a little different. And if you're not from Cape Cod, even though you've bought different properties somewhere else, there's a lot of things here in Cape Cod, like the septic systems and putting a new septic or doing an inspection on the septic. Also the little things with the lenders. It's important to know the location and the ins and outs of the specific market here. So again, if you have any questions, I'm here for you. Thank you so much for watching today. Have a great day.